True. And not only that, J.J. Abrams, I know some people hate him, but J.J. Abrams was also more of a Star Wars guy, and I think he did a good job in 2009, and also I like Into Darkness. I know some people also think that movie's like the worst thing to ever exist, but I think it's good.
You know what? Let's hold that thought for just a second.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and talk about J.J. Abrams. I think he is a fantastic director.
Mm-hmm.
I think when the story is left up to him, we're often left kind of in a milky soup of not so greatness. But when you look at his directorial style, it looks amazing.
Yes.
As far as Into Darkness goes, there were parts of it that I liked quite a bit. Now, see, I love 2009. I thought 2009 was great.
Agreed.
I was like, man, I can't wait to see what the future holds. And then Into Darkness came out, which they lied to us for months.
Mm.
And then it just turned out to be kind of a lukewarm remake of Wrath of Khan. Now, would you not characterize that as a true statement?
I'll start with this. I loved Benedict Cumberbatch's performance. I mean, forget that it's Khan. Just take the performance in and of itself. I thought he was a fantastic villain in that movie. No, he's not Khan. It makes no sense that he's Khan. And I remember originally it was supposed to be Benicio del Toro taking on the role, which I would have loved to have seen what that could have been. I would have been very interested to see if that all worked out. But at the same hand, just taking him as a villain for what he was, I thought Benedict Cumberbatch did a great job. And I've seen the original Space Seed and Wrath of Khan, and it was forced that they jammed it in there, but at the same time, I don't mind the ideas that were presented. Because I've said this too, if you're going to reboot this franchise and do this, time travel, new timeline, I think parts of the story should be moved forward. Why not come out with Khan a little bit sooner? They obviously didn't do it, but I would have been interested in the idea of maybe with this time shift, what if Q was introduced earlier? Imagine Q interacting with young Kurt saying, with the new timeline. But so I like the ideas and the principles brought behind it. And so that's why I like Into Darkness, because I think it answers also who's stronger, Khan or Spock or a Vulcan? We didn't really get them to fight. So I was curious to see where we could have gone with that. The super blood thing, I gotta admit, was a cheap cop out, and them Kurt and Spock switching roles. Okay, yeah, I get all those things, but for me, the major reason is that they answer a lot of questions I had in Into Darkness, and I thought it was interesting pairings, and I thought there was a lot of things they did rather well.
Sure. As far as Cumberbatch goes, I was actually fine with him playing whatever role they had him in. What I didn't like was that, oh no, that's John Harrison. It's not Khan, because J.J. Abrams has this tendency to lie to his audience going into movies.
He does lean into the mystery box formula too much. That's his staple. That's his standard. That's as much a J.J. thing as lens flares. But at the same time, I gotta admit that, I didn't necessarily hate it as much, but I do think, because this was also the time period with same thing with Skyfall. It's a character that but we're going to lie to you and tell you that it's a different character for suspense reasons. It's is it?
Yeah. The other thing that JJ does that I don't care for is all audience recognition. Okay. So they've got Khan. And this was a thing when this movie came out, was he turns himself in. So now the villain is in jail amongst all the good guys. And this was, Joker did it, Skyfall had happened. I mean, everybody was doing this. And so they got him there, and they're kind of giving him the once over, trying to figure out what's going on with him. And he goes, my name is Khan. And the only people who care is the audience. Everybody else there is like, who? Everybody in the movie is like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. And it's like when Maz gave Chewbacca that medal. Okay. Nobody in the movie cares about that medal. And if you want to get real stern about it, Chewbacca was given that medal in the late 90s on an MTV Music Awards show.
Which is canon. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly. Just stuff like that where you play to the audience. We are not part of your movie. Don't play to us. Tell your story in the movie. In wrestling, they would say leave it in the ring,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was fine with, okay, so yeah, he's a pasty English guy instead of an Indian. Well, he was a swarthy, debonair Mexican before he was, before anything else. I don't remember if Ricardo Montalban was Mexican or Colombian, honestly, but to me, whatever. I know two guys named Singh who are white guys, and they're Sikh, but, they grew up, part British, part Indian, and, now they're white looking dudes with the last name Singh. In the future, people are going to look like what they look like,
But keep in mind, Khan is not really from the future. He's from like 1996.
No, but he's from a selective breeding program.
That's true, but I'm just saying. He is from 1996.
Yes.
According to Space Seed.
No. You're absolutely correct. It's just, he's from a selective breeding program.
True.
Which is my issue number 4. Khan is not Captain America.
Right.
Yeah, he was bred to be more ambitious and a little stronger, a little better, a little more daring. He was not shot full of genetics and the hormones and this, at least not until much later in Star Trek history did they add that.
Yeah.
So that's an issue I have right there.
I mean, because in Space Seed, he was taken down by the double punch, or was it a pipe? I'm trying to remember now.
So they had those things in engineering that they used to tie ropes to on sailboats.
It was a pipe, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little pipe with a little right angle thing. And Kirk pulls it out.
Right.
And hits him in the sternum and then just clubs him over the back with it.
And that was it. And then somehow he comes back later on and is gigantic, like he has a gigantic chest, when he's like freaking 50 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, apparently he was a gymnast when he was young and he did like 500 push-ups a day or something.
I don't think I've done 500 push-ups in my life, so good for him.
Yeah, maybe in my life. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 5. That's what I got.
Yeah. But Khan was like powerful, but he wasn't like, wipe out a room full of Klingons barehanded kind of.
Right.
Yeah. Super speed and everything.